I'm trying to get the feeling of a blink deck. Oh, you're trying to get a feeling for a blink deck on the mono black deck? Yo, I got you handled so well. Because I have an IRA deck, which basically is doing the same thing. Hello. This is my mono black blink deck, kinda. Okay. I play a card that either gains me life or has lifelink. It dies. I kill it, bring it back with the commander. I don't really enjoy the Aristocrats deck because of keeping track of triggers. Makes my head hurt. This is definitely a bracket 2 deck. I don't want to reanimate. Okay. I don't want to run reanimate style spells either unless they are on a creature I can recur as well. It detracts from my commander. Okay. So my first question is, do you have like IRA first of Lock the Wind? Because that card is straight up gas with Mozio. Yes, you do. Very nice. Yeah, we're doing opposite. No, we're doing the same thing. My IRA deck has Mozio in the 99. Your Mozio deck has IRA in the 99. So we're going to have some fun together comparing decks here. Chthonian Nightmare, though. I know it's not a creature. Yeah, we should be running Chthonian Nightmare. The fact that Mozio comes with a friend makes Chthonian Nightmare very budget. And we definitely want Saw in half if we don't have it already. So Saw in half takes a creature and makes it into 2 creatures, right? You blow up a creature, that creature turns into 2 creatures, and step you return the creature you sawed in half. Insane. Chthonian Nightmare lets you sack creatures to return Mozio to play. Mozio comes with a creature you can sacrifice for this effect. So these 2 cards are going to go in. Absolutely, in my opinion, non-negotiable cardboard that we just put in there. Yeah, so we have a bunch of Feigned Death effects, and the joke is that you sack things to Viscera here and then return them to the battlefield because you sacked them. If I'm going to be all honest, I think Zoff Consumption is not worth at all. It should just be a swamp. This is a sorcery in 3 mana. We already have Withering Torment. I'm gonna say let's run. These are a lot of 1-for-1 swaps I'm doing really quickly. I think we should be on Feed the Swarm instead. I do just prefer the So more like Aristocrats than True Flicker? No, it's still closer to Flicker than Aristocrats. Because Aristocrats, I'm thinking like we make a bunch of tokens, we sack a bunch of tokens, Zulip Cutthroat goes blah. This is not that deck. This deck has big, powerful ETB, Undying Effect. You sack the big, powerful ETB, you get the Undying Effect. Also, I want to add in Coiling Rebirth. Coiling Rebirth is another very good card for this kind of archetype of like big black ETBs. Where we have Coiling or Rebirth, right? You reanimate something and then you make a 1/1 token copy of it. So you get 2 ETBs for the price of 1 card out of your graveyard, and then Mozio returns the thing in your graveyard. Right, so Coiling Rebirth's another one of these cards I'm really interested in. I think Erebos might be a little bit too slow. Dread Presence I'm not a big fan of. Eradicator Valkyrie. It's a lifelinker. It sacks creatures. You know what? Yeah, I like it. I like it. Good card. Good card. Twilight Diviner always feels a bit win-win more to me, but I think it's fine. Mill 3 cards. Okay, so I don't like mill to set up these big plays. Stitcher Supplier's interesting. Do we run? Yeah, we have Crypt of Academe. I don't know if I like the 3-drop mill card anyway. Apprentice Necro. I'd rather be on like Phyrexian Delver. Right, just 5 mana, get the thing back. Let's not play at all. So we have Villas. Okay, hang on. Can I sell you? Can I sell you on Entomb and Reanimate only because of... Hang on. So I'm going to put these in the cyber really quick to show what I'm talking about. I only want you to run one of each. Like, no other non-creature reanimates. And the reason is Grim Servant. So Grim Servant, even if you only have one devotion to black, can get an entomb to entomb a creature, or it can get the reanimate to reanimate a creature. All in one card. So it's a Phyrexian Delver because you pay for it. It enters, you lose 3 life. You get the reanimate, you reanimate something. Or it enters and you entomb for the thing you want to reanimate. So that's the only reason why I'm pitching you on these non-creature reanimates. I really don't like Crypt Incursion, by the way. It's okay. It's okay. I don't like Undying Evil because giving it actually Undying can non-bow with your other Undying effects. So I'm cutting that one for that reason. Honestly, like, Reckoner's Bargain's just, like, I think Stone Cold unplayable. Draw 2. Like, there's better cards than this. Like, straight up, there's actual better upgrades that are stronger than this one. We already have Malakir Rebirth. I would do, like, Fake Your Own Death. It's 2 mana up front, but you get a treasure rebate, so it's kind of 1 mana. Because we already have Undying Malice. Do we have Supernatural? No, we don't have Supernatural Stamina, so that's the one you should be on instead. Yeah, Supernatural Stamina should be on. Instead of the other one, that other one that can non-bow. Because if you do Feign Death, it has a counter on it now, so now it can't get Undying. So this one's just always better. MDFC Reanimate Land. Oh, you're talking about no, I'm not gonna add that card, sadly, but it is a good thought. It just, I think our curve is actually, like, the cards that we actually care about reanimating are up here, and not that's not mana efficient at all. The way that card works. So sorry, to get the thumbs up on the Grim Servant Reanimate and Tomb, because I know this is part of mentioned in the primer, but also, like, these are pretty good. Phyrexian Tower would be so good in this deck for sure. But I don't want to go willy-nilly adding expensive cards. Anyway, I'm gonna give it to these high market. I think you're kind of missing a little bit here. It's a mill land, which is kind of cute, but I don't know if I'm really into it. High market's already in, I see. I don't, once again, I just don't like milling in our mana base. I'd rather just have untapped swamps. Yeah, Phyrexian Tower in sideboard, just in case you find the budget for it. Because I would not, this card is not worth the $1 billion that it is. Well, I guess matter of fact speaking, it is, but, like, I wouldn't spend $25 on this Magic the Gathering card. Okay, anyway. Surprised you went this long without suggesting that one desert. If near Deadlands or, Lazatep Quarry. I guess Lazatep Quarry is better than High Market, but... Creeping Bloodsucker. Yeah, it gains a bunch of life. I actually like this in this deck, even though normally I'm not a big fan of this card. Okay, I don't... Mire Triton's okay. I prefer a Lifelinker. Starting to lose me on the Vermin Gorger. Okay. Violent Tumor. And Violent Tumor is just a creature in Tomb. But also, I'm going to cut Crypt Incursion, which can reanimate with Mozio in play, but not until late in the game. So that's why I'm a little bit more iffy about it now that I think about it more. Violent Tumor, and then you run Dread Return. So Dread Return has flashback, sack 3 creatures to reanimate something. So if you have something in your graveyard that you really fucking like, you're able to sack 3 of your little weenies to go and grab Valgavoth or whatever, and then end step Mozio trigger, return one of the little weenies you sacked to Dread Return. And that play pattern's available off of Violent Tumor, which is why I'm interested in adding this. Once again, despite your, like, I don't want Reanimate in the deck. Because you don't want Reanimate in the deck because of power level reasons. You don't want it in because it's not a creature. But my counter argument is that Reanimate and Tomb both have synergy with a creature that is very strong to be recurring. And your card advantage off of, like, Villas is kind of reliant on reanimating it a little bit. Like, Reanimate plus Villas is a 2-card combo that draws 8 cards. So at that point, I'm like, are we really missing out on the value of not being able to recur this as a creature? I think the answer is no. I think after drawing 8 cards, you can do whatever the fuck you want. If your deck's built halfway decent, of which this is probably halfway decent because it's full of black cards. I don't like Wormcoil Engine. I know it has lifelink. It's also 6 mana. That's my issue. Dog, honestly, run Pact Weapon. You have so many lifelinkers. Pact Weapon being able to go, oop, here's Valgavoth off the top. +9/+9. And then you get all the life back with the lifelink. That's funny. And then it's a discard outlet for your reanimates. That's cute. That's funny. I like this card. We're already running Dark Confidant and stuff. In fact, our mana value gets a little high. What if we run Keen Duelist instead of Dark Confidant? Here, man. Let me show you my Valgavoth. You show me your land. You take 9, I take 0. We both put the cards in our hand. Oh, where are you getting Elotes from? Secret? What do you mean secret? Can you just get me some? Or do you hate me that much? I'm lazy. Oh, okay. Why do you even mention it? If you're not going to do anything about it. Yes, there are elotes in this world. What is this supposed to mean? Anyway, Swamp. To hurt you? Yeah, elotes exist. I'm not buying you any. I'm not going to get any. It's like, what? This is nothing. Okay, Commander. Pest. Okay, and then you go swing, swing. Pest dies, but you get 2 life, so this gets prepared post-combat main phase. And then you go black, black, draw 2 cards. We hit our land drop, so the game isn't over. Black, Stitcher Supplier. Okay, this feels pretty good so far. Mill 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, Iora, come back! You horrible worm. We only gained 2 life this turn, so we're unable to return it with the Mozio trigger. Oh, no, that's so heartbreaking. Okay, luckily, we can tempt ourselves with some treats here. But we can't Night's Whisper to hit our land drop. Dude, this sucks. This feels really bad. I'm going to cut Cavalier of Night. 5 mana is a lot of mana for an object. Although it does everything we want. Okay, I'm going to cut Gravebreaker Lami. But it has lifelink. Oh, I hate thinking. Cutting Gwenum because she has to untap to be good. Okay. Cutting... No, Massacre Worm is awesome. Especially multiples when you get it off of Coiling Rebirth. I don't like that Arden needs multiple things to be good. Okay, we've officially gotten over the hump. We can now run Swamp. Massacre Worm can't go, dog. That's why I didn't cut it. I agree with you. Okay. So, what do I run in Iara? Black Cat's funny. You do Darkstar Augur stuff. I mean, you could just do Hoarding Broodlord. But we don't go that wide, do we? I mean, I guess we just have a token generator in the command zone, so... Yeah, let's try out the Broodlord. Alright, discard. I would keep this. Draw. Swamp. Next turn. Swamp. Ripples of Undeath. Next turn. 1, 2, 3. Do I want Grey Merchant of Asphodel in my hand? Like, yeah. One, two. No. I was thinking about playing Disciple of Gristlebrand here, but in all honesty, End Step and Tomb, Valgavoth. Next turn. 1, 2, 3. I don't want any of these back more than I just want to get Valgavoth in play. Dread Return for Valgavoth. Do we have Meat Hook? No. I am worried about getting too many non-creatures in the deck, but like currently I think turn 4 Valgavoth means your deck is doing something right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll pay for my land drop this turn. Dink, dink, dink. Dink, dink, dink. IRF first to Lochthwain, black, Stitcher Supplier, so we drain 2. And then we mill... do we have another big idiot in the graveyard? I don't think so, right? No, we don't. Okay, so we mill 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Metamorphosis Fanatic. Nice to see you. And there's Veto. Okay, great. So this turn, we can get a little crazy with it. 1, 2, 3. Pay 1 for Castle Lochthwain. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Mozio. This is 2 life drain. We're now going to move to combat. We're going to hit you with a 9/9 with lifelink. Okay, that's awesome. Now, end step trigger for Mozio. Going to get Metamorphosis Fanatic. That's going to get Veto. And then here in a vacuum, we just win this turn because we have Veto plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus Gary. And then if we hit a Feign Death here, we just like super win. Okay, we didn't, but still. So, Grey Merchant of Asphodel, we gain 1 billion life. We tap IR, we sack Grey Merchant of Asphodel. End step, this comes back. We thermonuclear bomb everyone again. So that's convincing. That was a very good. This feels a lot like my IR deck. Also, you need to think about Reanimate as another one of these. I think this is where you're getting tripped up. This isn't a creature you can recur a bunch, but it is another one of these Malakir Rebirth effects. It just works retroactively. It's 1 black mana to ephemerate a thing you've sacrificed, right? It's just, it works in reverse. Yeah, you're a lot less in on board clears than I am, but that's honestly fine. That makes sense, even. And you're less in on tokens because you're not leaning in on IRA. You're leaning in on Mozio. So you got the tokens solved, but it's not the life that's solved. Here I have the life solved, but I don't have the token solved. So that makes our list different in some meaningful way. Oh, also Kokosho goes crazy with Coiling Rebirth as well and Saw in half. Okay, so overall, I'm just going to compare like with the actual compare feature with IRA, and then I think you're like literally good to go. Funeral. Elk, I've discovered a funny lock. Give an opponent Plague Reaver while you control MAT, Drawn, and Linvala, and they can't get rid of it with its ability and have to keep it sacking creatures until they kill it. Plague Reaver is the one that's like sack a creature, you can give it to a different person, then at the beginning of your upkeep, sack a creature. Right? Wow, this is actually really cool for a Drawn and Linvala deck. You're so right. Oh man, is there more cards like this? There has to be, right? I might have to look into that. Anyway, let's take a peep. But if I wanted to make the deck stronger, I'd put it in immediately. The main reason I don't do it is because reanimating Valgavoth on turn 2 isn't what I want to be doing. Okay, that's fine. Absolutely. Yeah, what you're saying in the primer is different than what you're saying in chat. What you're saying in the primer is And I quote, I don't want to run reanimate style cards unless they're on my creatures that I can recur well. Okay, fine. But in chat, you're like, it's too powerful, which is two different sentences. But yeah, we can do reanimate out. At that point, I take Grim Servant out. And then at that point, I take Entomb out. But I would keep Violent Tumor because I think the play pattern is slow enough for Violent Tumor plus Dread Return to be cool. And then also, what do you think about these? Like the Dread Return, the Coiling Rebirth, the Saw in Half that we've already put in. The Hoarding Broodlord. The Phyrexian Delver. That stuff sticks for sure. TY. Okay, great. All right, we are on the same page once more. I do think I like, we already have Consuming Corruption. We already have Feed the Swarm. But what else can get life? Bloodletter is a lot of fun. Maybe just run more sack cards. So like Flare of Denial or Flare of Malice, right? Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker they control with the greatest mana value, but you can free cast it by sacking a black creature. So this plus an Undying effect is very strong on a Grey Merchant of Asphodel, on any of these other big ETBs. It's kind of like Eradicator Valkyrie, but as an instant. And then we can maybe run some like Village Rites style effects. So I think the first one of those that I would kind of want is actually Zark. Oh my god, that's a wall of text, Josie. Can you give me it in like 2 seconds? Or like 2 sentences? Midgar. So we can run Midgar. It takes up a lot less room than like a real sack and then draw 2. It's more expensive, but it, 4 mana flicker draw 2 is pretty good. We can also do like ones that gain life. So you had like, I forgot which one you had in earlier. Wait, did I actually just cut like a good card for this deck? That's my fault. Because there is a mana value 2/1 that gains life. Reckoner's Bargain. Because this gains you life equal to its mana value, so you can bring it back into play, and then you draw 2 cards. If I cut this, I would like to apologize. I thought it was like Altar's Reaper, the one that didn't gain you life. But it was just 2 mana to do this. This one's fine. This one's perfectly good. You did, lol. My fault, my fault. I did not mean to. If it was that one, I thought it was Altar's Reap. I thought it was 2 mana sack draw 2, do nothing else. Which had me like, embarrassing. Okay. What else just gains a stupid amount of life? Dude, why does this guy have an 8-ball for a head? What the fuck is happening? Why would you play Pool against the villain whose whole identity is playing Pool? I wouldn't play Pool against this guy. What's my supervillain power? Playing Pool. This doesn't seem fair. To be fair, he doesn't have eyes. Player resentful that her protection beatdown decks keep getting killed by my interaction heavy playstyle. Now it's a vendetta against me every game, which ruins it for both of us. She doesn't seem to want to learn how to build a healthy interaction and protection. I think legitimately it is just like a play pattern differential. This is a personality conflict, not a Magic the Gathering conflict. She wants to play these greedy, dumb value decks, and so she's tired of playing constantly against your controlling heavy decks that blow those styles out of play out. You want to play this deck. She wants to play this deck that's hard countered by it. Like, the greed is not matching with how you want to play. And, like, that's just a play pattern issue. Because it sucks. Bummer. Like, literally, there's nothing that can be done here except by, like, saying, like, hey, listen, you should probably just be running some of these good cards. Or you can maybe make the swap and be the one who changes and goes like, hey, listen, I really like playing with you, so I'm going to play a less touch your cardboard deck. Okay, anyway. We have one more slot. We could just, like, opt for Bone Shards. So think about the dichotomy here. Bone Shards is 1 black mana, discard a big reanimator card, destroy something. Alternatively, it is sacrifice something that's already in play that you've already targeted with the Feign Death that has a huge ETB. It does double duty. It discards your big bombs, and it sacrifices the things you want to flicker. It does both. So I think Bone Shards is the answer here. Shout out Modern Horizons. Westvale Abbey. That's kooky and crazy. Can I be honest? I don't think I like Westvale Abbey in this deck. Do you know what I might like in this deck? Fucking Creeping In. Hostile. Because this does the same thing. This is a sacrifice outlet on the land that's far cheaper than Westvale Abbey. And then eventually it flips into this fucking idiot that just starts draining everyone. I mean, I think the backside's worse than Westvale Abbey's backside. But the front side's better as a sacrifice object that sacrifices small little weenies like your Stitcher suppliers and stuff. Okay, maybe you do just run High Market in addition to Last Step Quarry, by the way, the more I think. And then you can kind of round all this out by getting Phyrexian Tower in if you ever find the budget for it, because Phyrexian Tower is broken. This would also be such a good Overlord of the Balemerc deck. Hang on. I'm just going to put like the whole modern package in the sideboard really quick. There's a mono black kind of, or like at least Golgari, because it kind of splashes green for Culling Ritual in the sideboard. There's black Crypt of Agadim decks that run Overlord of the Balemerc, Phyrexian Tower, Expedition Map to get the Crypt of Agadim. It doesn't run this in the modern version, but I'm saying if you went more into the modern version where you're more in on Crypt of Agadim, I'd want you to be running Expedition Map for that. So I'll put that in the sideboard as well. So like this is like a perfect little package to make this kind of deck more stupid. Curses. This is the first Crane Wife song I've ever heard. And it was pretty fucking awesome. NGL. All right, here's Mozio. Get our pest. Dink. 1, 2, 3. Flayed 1. Mill 3. Next turn. Swamp. Okay, so you attack with Flayed 1. They block it. You go not dead after all. It comes back with a cursed roll token. You mill 4. Mill 3. Oh, you attack with the pest as well, even though it dies. Okay, so you've gained 5 life this turn. I do like Eradicator Valkyrie. But what if we just Vile Entombed for a 5-drop that we like? Get Gravebreaker Lamia into play. Okay, now we have a 4/4 lifelinker that then puts Valgavoth in the graveyard. Okay, why did we do all this? Good question. No, I'm joking. The simple answer is now that we have Gravebreaker Lamia Violent Tumor in play, you're able to go 1, 2, 3. Saw Violent Tumor in half. And now you have 2 Violent Tumors enter. You get a 4-drop. Or you get a 9-drop. Or less. So you get like... Yeah, let's do Villas. And then you get Dread Return into your graveyard. You attack with Flayed 1 and Gravebreaker. Right, Flayed 1 might die or whatever. So now you've gained 9 life. You now sacrifice these 3 to Dread Return to bring back Villas. And then you've gained 9 life this turn, so Valgavoth comes back as well from the Mozio trigger. And then you have Undying Malice to protect, and then you have another reanimate to like get them back if need be. That was a fucking sick line. That was cool as hell. Okay. I don't know if I'm big on like sack get a bunch of black mana. I think this one's good. I think Xeris competes too hard at 3 mana value for a commander. And so I would like to replace that one with something. The question is what? Throw Parasite is a 1 mana with Extort. I just don't think 1 mana with Extort's that good. What if some black just gains like a stupid amount of life? You could do some gifted Aetherborn stuff. Gifted Aetherborn. Blah, 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 blah. Leech Gauntlet's fun to put on like reanimate targets. Maybe Noxious Gearhulk's too expensive at 6 mana, although it's a really good thing to flicker. What colors are we in? We're mono black. Dink, dink. Target player is us. We mill two. Woohoo! Carrion Feeder. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Commander, swing this 2-drop. Get back Carrion Feeder. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, man. We've been curving like a god. Honestly, here, though, I just pass after playing Ripples. 2, 3. Okay, mill 3 lands. I don't think I want any of those. 1, 2, 3. Veto. Attack with Desperate Bloodseeker. Dies, but you've gained 2 life this turn, so it comes back. Mill 2. Cool. Next turn. Swamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gray Merchant of Asphodel. Drain you for a bunch. Sack to Flare of Malice. Attack. End step. Return Gray Merchant of Asphodel. Drain you for a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then plus another. It'd be 21 to a player because you have veto. Do we already have Enduring whatever the fuck? No, we don't. Enduring Tenacity is the name of the black Glimmer from Duskborn. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. It's just another veto. But if you saw this one in half, you get 3. Because the first one comes back from the graveyard to the battlefield. And then the other 2 are token copies of it. So you can have 3 of these in play at once, which is really funny. That's something I do all the time in IRA, First of Lochthwaiten. I think Tivash is just a little too slow. He's funny as hell, but God, just it's such a bad card, sadly. Okay, I think it's about good to go, though. Pretty happy with how this deck looks as it is. So once again, sideboard cards. These are more pricey cards that you don't necessarily have to buy, but they are cards that would be very good in your deck. I would cut Swamp, Swamp, and then this one, probably one of your shittier top-end cards. Probably something, like, not Noxious, though. It's probably Lily for Overlord of the Balemerc. But yeah, Shield the Apocalypse. Shield would be good. I don't think it's needed though. That's the major caveat. I don't think you need that card for this deck to do what it's doing. But these three, it's closer to need than not. But like, also you don't need to spend that much money on these cards. Like the upgrades we did to the main deck are all that you need. Okay, anyway. Thank you for getting a deck review. I think you're set.